Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our Let's Play of ArmA Cold War Rearm. I'm the Ninja Stalker and spent some time away from this game. Let's get back into it. Rolling Thunder. Yeah, I think this is where we were. Let's jump into it. Alright. Group. Robert Hammer. Whatevs.
EC-1, this is Papa Bear. You are clear to proceed to Objective 1.
Okay. I got a whole group of massive people. Alrighty, we're headed south.
Go to 1807. Fall back into formation. All, engage at will. Go to 1806.
It's everyone's formation line. That's what I figured it'd be a line. It would be a line since you are in tanks. My God, that's loud. Good Lord. What the hell? Oh, okay, I was about to start shooting at that. I was like, what the fuck is this on my screen? It's about to be nothing. Alright, so I gave the go-ahead for everyone to go ahead and engage at will as soon as they start seeing targets. Line formation except for that M113, but that M113 is not part of our group. Enemy Ural at 500 meters, 11 o'clock. Yep, target. And somebody got it. Good. The other one, standing. Okay. Alright.
Go to 252.
One thing I have noticed because of this mod, tank battles, or armor battles I should say, are a lot easier because it's based off of the game engine for armed assault. So they'll just go ahead and attack and engage and destroy much easier than what they did in Operation Flashpoint or ArmA Cold War Assault. Let's see. 2 target.
2 target machine gunner.
2 is engaging. Don't look like you're engaging much, man.
Papa Bear, this is Yankee 1. Taking the guard post at Tyrone. Over. Good
Move
job,
to
Yankee.
1.
Infantry is en route to hold the village. Some support units are coming through to lead them. Papa Bear out.
Now, considering these tanks are supposed to be M1A1s or M1A2s, I seriously doubt that they had this model where you could be in the commander seat but inside the tank and have the gun up above turning without the actual commander present moving the gun. I seriously doubt that. Maybe the newer M1A1s, or excuse me, the newer M1 tanks, maybe like M1A4s, M1A3s. I don't know what series we're at right now for the U.S. Military, but I seriously doubt the first models had this ability where you can be turned in and not turned out to, you know, move this. But, you know, it is a game, so it doesn't matter. Almost pretty certain about that because, you know, back then they didn't really have an idea doing stuff like that. Why did the tank started beeping? Did somebody hit us?
1 o'clock. Machine gun at 100 meters.
At 12 o'clock, enemy man at 100 meters.
Okay, let's call support. Give me a...
I need repairs. Delta 3.
Let's see if we can get a repair truck. Supporting position, Yankee. Alright, so they're actually gonna send somebody.
All, report status.
Hi. Position. Delta. Oh, 3.
Take position. Delta. Oh, 3.
Alright, so we have 9. We need a tank repaired, and it's that one over there. Four, 12, and 9. 4, 12, and 9 need their tank fixed up. Looks like we have a 5-ton truck coming in. There's a repair truck coming in. Perfect.
I need repairs. Delta. Oh, 3. Move to 877.
Okay, so we lost.
At 3 o'clock, enemy. Officer, 100 meters.
Battles with this mod for Operation Flashpoint Cold War Crisis or ArmA Cold War Assault. There's also difficulty because it can easily take you out as well. Okay, I see why we're moving slow. It's because we have actual foot soldiers now. We have the crew members of the previous tanks. They had to bail out because their tanks have taken significant damage. So now they're traveling alongside us. So now our tank roles have now become supporting tanks, much like the British had for World War II, where a majority of their tanks didn't really move any faster than 20 kilometers an hour, because they're supporting role tanks. There wasn't need for them to move fast. Not all the British tanks were like that, but I think at the beginning of the war they were pretty much like that. So let's go ahead and get 3 to target that tank. And then we'll get our guy to target
tank 06.
Yeah, not all the British tanks during World War II were like that. They did have some universal role tanks, some main battle tanks, combat tanks, but majority of them were pretty slow.
3, fall back into formation.
Okay, I think we might have fucked up. Apparently we targeted a tank that was a good guy. How am I supposed to know? Whoops. Might be kind of slow getting there, but if we get there with everybody, should be fine. Even though we did lose the main bulk of our attacking force. just taking his sweet time. Entering the town slowly kind of helps with seeing everything at a slower pace, you know, instead of zipping on by too fast where you won't be able to process much. And you can probably look at it as a psychological warfare kind of thing, where you scare the enemy and they're like, when are they gonna get here? Oh my god. Like, that guy was probably shitting his pants having all those big ass 50 cal bullets passing over him.
Chilka, 200 meters.
Target.
Target, Chilka, 2 high.
3.
Target, Chilka.
Target the Shilka. Change that.
At 11 o'clock, enemy missile soldier at 50 meters.
At 11 o'clock, enemy officer at 50 meters. Fire! Fire!
Negative.
Forward. Left. Forward. Halt. Forward. Halt. Right. Halt. Forward. Left. Forward. Left. Forward. Right. Forward. Right. Forward. Left. Forward. Left. Forward. Move to 0 high. 1 0.
targets. Hmm.
Three. Oh. Five. Oh.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, get out of the way. There we go. Okay, 3, target that
Roger,
380.
80.
We did it. Just wondering, can you imagine if we still used equipment, armor, weapons, and all that from World War II? Like, none of the nations actually technologically advanced in that criteria. Can you imagine that? Join the assault and from another. Yeah, well, I think we accidentally went against them. We kind of fucked that up. But yeah, can you imagine, like, from World War II, when we had those tanks, those weapons, can you imagine if every country decided, or not even decided, just so happens that they didn't advance technologically in that kind of warfare up to this point? Like, we're still using M1 carbines, we're still using M1 Grands, we're still using M4 Shermans for the Americans. What were other tanks? There was a T-29, but it was like a concept tank. But can you imagine, like, yeah, they went a little further with that, you know, just a little further. But it still stayed, you know, like that, like no M1A1 Abrams, no Bradleys, none of that, you know. Pretty sure we wouldn't have helicopters, because I don't think they started developing helicopters until the Korean War, and then those helicopters were mostly well, they definitely don't look like Hueys. They were like the beginning stages of what a Huey might have been. They were mostly choppers that picked people up, take them out. They were using piston engines, which were pretty cheap, but also not too powerful. They were pretty ineffective compared to the turbine engines we're using for choppers. They would go in and scout, or they would go in and pick up wounded and take them back. We'd still have planes, though. P-51 Mustang was pretty badass. And you had the B-17 Flying Fortress. You had the bombers, the 24 Liberators. What other stuff did we have? I mean, just can you imagine that? Russia would still use its T-34 tanks. You had the T-44s as well. There were other tanks too. I mean, you got the T-54s and all that, but I mean, you got the heavy tanks too. And that was another thing too. Back then, they had actual classifications for tanks. There was specific light tanks, specific medium tanks, specific heavy tanks. But then, after World War II, they decided to change that and say, you know what, to help with logistics, supplies, and of course raw materials, let's stop building heavy tanks. Let's stop building light tanks. Let's focus on medium tanks and make those universal tanks and make them into, like, main battle tanks, MBTs, you know? But man, that'd be some crazy stuff right there. Like everywhere else we advanced, so like technology and all that, but like when it came to military warfare, we're still using these old tanks. That would be crazy. And old weapons and stuff. So what do we have next? It's just a ludicrous idea in all honesty.
Hey, Nichols. This should be pretty routine, right?
Nothing's ever routine around here, man.
Oh shit, we get to play, or excuse me, we get to fly helicopters. Fuck yeah, love this. Captain Sam Nichols. Alright, we get to fly a Black Hawk. Ooh. Let me close the door. I have a feeling my cat's gonna sneak in and just bug. Okay, so we get to fly a Black Hawk. I'm not too sure what type of Black Hawk it is, because you have different Black Hawks. You have the alpha version, and you have the second version, third, fourth, and fifth, and all that other stuff. Oh, this is so cool. I mean, like, I've played it before, and I liked it in Operation Flashpoint Cold War Crisis or ArmA Cold War Assault. And you guys heard me rant earlier about last time about like, oh, I gotta flying in this game is different from flying in the other game. Look at the graphics though, man. This is beautiful. Oh man. Now this one has got to be the what would you call it? This Black Hawk would be like the armored up version. Well, not armored up, but like this is the one that's got the weapons, because we have rockets on the sides. Because it was the same thing. It was the same thing they did in Vietnam with the Huey. When they first came out with the Huey, it was supposed to be a utility helicopter, you know? And then they started realizing, hey, the Huey is a workhorse, but we can make it be something else. We can have it do other things. So then they started putting, like, door gunners on the side. You had a crew, you know, you had a crew of 4 people, was it? Because you have your pilot and co-pilot, and then you have the 2 door gunners. One of them was the crew chief, the other one was an actual door gunner. And I think the crew chief was on the left side, so it was easy for him to see towards the pilot, who was on the right side, and his equipment, so he can easily identify the crew chief, the guy being the guy who identifies what's wrong with the helicopter in case the pilot didn't notice it, or if the pilot wasn't paying attention, or if the pilot was focused on something else, and then he can quickly say, hey, you know, we're losing pressure in this or that, you know, and then, you know, hey, next thing you know, auto rotation, and that's like a fucking roller coaster ride, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, and then they started changing the guns on the side, because they were M60 guns, then they were 50 cal guns, maybe. And then they moved up to the mini guns, you know, and those things were just terrors in the skies. And they were like, all right, these things can now we can have different versions. You had like I think they nicknamed them the Slicks. The Hueys were nicknamed the Slicks. The ones that actually came in and picked people up and dropped people off, those ones weren't really armed per se. You know, they might have door gunners, but mostly Slicks were not armed. They were meant to pick people up and load people, you know, and take people off. And that would be the reason why they wouldn't have door gunners, because door gunners, the guns themselves weigh, and door gunners, you know, they weigh too. So you'd have just a co-pilot and pilot, but then you'd have the armored gunships for the Hueys, and they would come with rockets, like the ones you saw here, the FFARs, except I don't know if they actually call them that, but you would have rockets. And they weren't exactly the most accurate of rockets if you shot them all off. The most accuracy you can get out of them is if you shot 1 or 2 at a time, or you can shoot 4 at a time, or 6 or 8, but I mean, your accuracy would be all over the place. You would also have mounted machine guns, like right here where you see these, I believe these are actual fuel canisters for extra fuel for your aircraft. But right here you would have like twin 60 machine guns, right? So 7.62 millimeters. The M60s, you'd have one on top, one on the bottom, one on top, one on the bottom, and they were experimenting with those, and they actually had those going on. Maybe, excuse me, I burped. Maybe on a very rare occasion, they would swap those out and put like actual miniguns, but like it would be one minigun here, one minigun here, and you would use those. But those were like really rare occasions. And then you have the rockets here. Those things were just amazing, you know. And then like maneuvers you would do in an aircraft, like they would always do like passes over to the left. That way the door gunner on this side can shoot down, and then the door gunner on this side can shoot behind the aircraft to prevent anyone from shooting while the Huey was trying to pull out. Now the issue with shooting backwards is if the aircraft had these right here, these flaps, then of course shooting back you have to really take care of where you were shooting. And different models had different things. Some of them wouldn't have something like this. Now this is the Black Hawk and it would have it, but some models actually didn't have something like this. They would have something else. Like you should see the first model of a Huey and then compare it to the later model of a Huey. It looks completely different. But it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I like stuff like that. Anyways, let's jump back into this. Inside view, please. Let's look down. I have no co-pilot. I'm all by myself. I think that guy was supposed to be with us, but who cares? We can go at it solo. Now, another thing I found out when it comes to chopper flying, it doesn't matter if you're on the left side or the right side. Depending on what aircraft, of course. Depending on what aircraft you have, it doesn't matter if you're on the left side or right side. You can be the pilot or co-pilot, whether being on the left or the right. Now, me being so used to, being an American and having the driver's side on the left side of the vehicle, I would always think the pilot should be on the left, co-pilot would be on the right. But apparently, it's interchangeable. It doesn't really matter. You're going to still have the same. You're going to still have the same gauges here that you would on that side. And then when it comes to the actual cyclic and collective, you're going to have it on the same over there. As you can see, there's your cyclic, there's your collective. The throttle's right there on the collective. And all the equipment would be, or all the gauges would be the same right in front of you. The only difference would be that right there in the middle. And that's what the crew chief would be looking at. This is what will help explain certain issues with the aircraft, and this is also the main electronics that'll help start up the aircraft, and switches that'll turn something on or off if you need like maybe higher pressure for the oil or something else. It really all depends, and I'll have time to study that when I get to flight school after Warrant Officer Candidate School. That's if I make it, which is it's a big if, but I would really enjoy that. This is something I would truly be happy with. And of course, there's the middle panel right here. Oh wow, I was being refueled because of this truck. There's the middle panel here that will have other gauges and explanations for your your aircraft. There's that gauge over there though, where on the left side you see like those squares right there, all those little squares. Those, I believe, are your indicators that says if there's something wrong with the aircraft or not. So if there's like a red flash going on, there's something wrong. Also, above us, up here, there's supposed to be switches as well, and there's also supposed to be like what do you call those? They're like knobs, but you get to push them forward for like full power and push them back for like less power or something like that. Again, I've not flown a helicopter. I've been in a helicopter once. That was like on a tour when I was in Florida. I was in the co-pilot seat, just checking it out because the guy asked, "Hey, anyone here have flight experience?" And I waved, I raised my hand. I was like, "Yeah, I do. I know how to fly Cessnas 152, 172s." And he was like, "Oh, great. You want to be a co-pilot?" I was like, "Would I?" Jumped right in. It was awesome. I didn't fly or touch the equipment. He just wanted me to sit there and watch. And I was like, "Yeah, totally. I understand. Because if something bad happens on my part, we did." But I was watching. It was so cool, and I guess in representation for what those knobs would be when you push them forward or back would be on the Cessna 152s would be your your throttle, but the throttle wasn't like a push forward and then a push back, in the sense that it was like a lever, because that's what it is for the chopper. It's a lever. On the Cessna, it's like a knob that you literally push forward into the cockpit, and then you can pull it back towards you. So it's not a lever, but it's like an actual push forward in, push forward out. So, anyways, enough talk. Let's get to what we're supposed to do. Let's go ahead and lift off. Let's turn. I'm gonna have to actually take advantage of using the rudder, the anti-torque pedals, to actually turn the chopper, because in Operation Flashpoint, Cold War Crisis, or ArmA, Cold War Assault, I don't really use those too much because it was already incorporated into the flight. And this is another issue you'd have to go through if you're really being a pilot. You'd have to learn how to what would you call it? You'd have to learn how to. Wow, there goes a bird. Which, true story, when I was flying, this is off of what I was trying to talk about. True story, while I was learning how to fly Cessnas, a bird actually hit our plane, and the co-pilot freaked the fuck out. Or not, he's not really the co-pilot, it's the instructor. He freaked the fuck out because if something hits your aircraft and it's a bird, it can screw you up, whether you're in a chopper or a plane. It hit us, and I was laughing, and he was like, "Whoa, what happened? What's going on?" I was like, "We hit a bird." He was like, "Oh my god, are there any damages you noticed in this and that? Are we smoking?" I was like, "No, but there are feathers floating behind us, and there's a naked bird falling to this airport we just left off." And he was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Oh, it looks like the Wichita airport is going to have some like pigeon to eat tonight or something." And we were laughing about it, but then he was like, "Seriously though, that could be a bad thing for an aircraft. Like, they can really screw up the propellers and all that other stuff." I was like, "Damn." So, but for actual flying, you have to learn how to hover your aircraft. That's one of the tough things to do in a chopper because you are doing everything simultaneously. You have the cyclic you have to move, you have the collective you have to move, you also have the anti-torque pedals where you see my feet at. You have those that you have to move, everything simultaneously. It all has to be done to keep the aircraft from fucking up. So you have to do this, you have to angle your chopper correctly. Whoa, didn't mean to do that. Calm down there. And hovering is one of the harder things to do. Go ahead and go down. Now, the cheap thing that I'm doing here is I'm going at it at a very slow speed. So these soldiers are waiting for me for a very long time. However, it is a video game. It is a video game, and that's all it is, really. It's just a video game. It's a simulator, It's something to have fun with. In real life, it's different. I'm really, it's so much different. So let's go ahead, turn this puppy around. These guys are like, alright, set that shit down. Alright. Touchdown. Perfect. Love it. Fucking love it. Alright, guys, get your asses in. What the fuck? What are you doing up here?
Chicks to Britain. We're all on board. You can take wing.
I mean, you might be an officer, but you ain't supposed to be up here. You're supposed to be in the back. Son of a bitch. I mean, if you have knowledge of flight, sure, I'll let you sit there, but you better keep your hands off of that cyclic and collector ass. Yeah, I'm talking to you. What, you think because you're an officer you can just go right on in? Come on now. I mean, I ain't got a problem with officers, but, I mean, if you ain't supposed to be there, you ain't supposed to be there. I'm gonna tell you right now, we die or we fuck up, I'm blaming you. For real. Alright, let's go and try and increase speed, and let's see how this goes. Now this I like. We are in a Black Hawk that has some armament, and I can pick people up and drop them off. That I like. Which will probably give some of you an idea of what I want to do in the military. You guys are probably going, hey, he's going to be a Black Hawk pilot, you know? I wouldn't mind. I'd like that. Apache pilot would be nice too. Problem with the Apache is it's just me and the gunner, and I would like to be... I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind being an Apache pilot, but I'd like to have crew members with me, so, you know, we'd all understand the aircraft much better. We can go and pick people off, pick people up, drop them off. If there was a need for like a crazy crew that like, hey, we need somebody to go pick these guys up, or oh, nobody can pick them up, they're behind enemy lines and this, that. You know, you got me and then everyone else. It's like, hey, me and my crew would do it. Fuck it. We got nap of the earth going on here. We're barely touching the tree lines, which is kind of dangerous, but choppers do get that kind of training to do stuff like that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pick up a little bit. We got a landing zone. So, let's... Whoa! Hang on there. Okay, so I might have screwed up there. Yep, sure enough. Sure enough. Let's just pretend that didn't happen, people. Especially you. You forget that ever happened. Alright. Yeah. Hovering, pretty tough. Well, maybe not tough for some people, but I mean, you guys can kind of understand. Because then this will start happening, right? You want to go towards your destination, but you're like, you know, going in like a completely different location, and then you have to fix it with the cyclic, and you have to really be on top of it. And again, it is a video game. Shit can happen in video games. Shit can happen in simulators. In real life, it's a different story when you actually get your hands on it. Like, for me, have I done simulators before flying a Cessna 152, 172? Yeah, but it was a long time ago. Very long time ago. And what really beats the game simulator is actually being in the experience of it, and it's so much easier and in the actual experience of it. Again, for me, it was good. You know, some people might say the actual experience is a little different. You know, it might be tougher, and it is for some people. For me, I had fun. I enjoyed it. I liked it. It didn't bother me the least bit.
Anyone receiving? This is Hotel 2-4. We're coming under heavy fire. We have many casualties. Immediate evac required. Can anyone assist?
Understood 2-4. We'll send someone to collect you. November 1, can you divert to evacuate Hotel Squad from the vicinity of Lamont? Over. That's a Roger, Papa Bear. Changing course now. Out.
Now, from what I can remember of flying Cessnas, if you want to make a sharper turn, you would use the rudders in the direction towards the turn to make it sharper, or you can use the rudder in the other direction if you're making this really steep turn and you need to counteract it to balance the chopper and like the gyro or whatever. So, similar things going on flying this to maybe a real aircraft, because you have to really be all over the place. I got my fingers stretched all out on the keyboard, on the Q key, on the W, well not the W, but like the ASD keys and the Z, X, C and all that. Alright, so here we are coming. Alright, let's not make it too steep. Okay, so I think that was the damage that I messed up at right there, where I was making too steep of a turn. Okay, let's bring her down real quick because we have individuals coming in. Alright guys, get in. I might have not been over there 12 meters, but it's fine. Everyone hurry up, get in. Is that everyone? I do like how they have the fuel somewhat accurate to what it would be in real life. Like, you haven't really noticed the fuel to move in Operation Flashpoint Cold War Crisis. But in this... Aw, dude, what the hell? Hurry up and get in. It's an officer. What do you expect? He wants to be the first one on the battlefield, the last one off.
Hey, let's everyone in. Rise out of this mess.
That's what he wanted.
Everyone to Papa Bear. Casualties are on board, over. Understood, November. How about using some of those rockets before you head for home?
Oh shit, yeah, let's use some of these rockets.
Papa Bear out.
Let's go and use some of these rockets. Woo! Oh. Oh my. You know what? Let's retry. Let's retry. We lost somebody. I don't want to really lose somebody. Maybe to fix this, we should probably go in with some speed. If we go in with some speed, it'd be much more difficult for him. Okay, never mind. There's a point to being too low to the ground and a point to being too high. I guess the tree line's just good enough for me, so we can see the individual at a distance. Right. Okay. And is he still... Yeah, he's still alive. Alright. Alright, we're gonna turn. Let's gain some altitude while doing this. Let's pull back a bit. And there he is, right there. Well, it hit near him, and the individuals got out, but it is a BMP. It isn't going to count for too much armor. Oh, and then blew up. Perfect. Alright, so we got 2 armors. Let's go ahead and get out of here. I think I'm doing a little better on the flying with these choppers. for this mod of the game. The only issue I see is that I was much better in the actual game for this, that this mod is, you know, working itself for. Are you still alive? Alright, is everyone else still good? Okay. Let's go and skedaddle on over there. Hey, you guys want to have a good look at the water? What, the holes on our windshield here? Nah. See, that's air conditioning. Say it with me. AC, air conditioning. Alright? Don't fuck around with me, because I'll kick you out of here. Coming up to our destination here. Easy, girl. Damn. Looks like we have to try that again. How did I do it last time? I had it much better before. See, I'm messing up. I did it perfectly last time, but it's something to deal with. And I don't want to use the auto hover, because to me that's kind of cheap. Okay. See, this is the other issue. Oh my god. See, this is what I'm running into. This problem. Let me see if I could try this again. I'll come in like I was before. So we'll do this. We're going to slow down. We're going to slow it down. We'll come about. I guess it has something to do with the momentum, right? That would make a little sense. Yeah, that wasn't perfect. Yeah, well, we landed at the right spot, but I think I know what was going on there. My issue was the momentum of the aircraft. In air, once you're going in a certain direction and you decide to like do an about face with the anti-torque pedals, you're still going to be going in that direction because what you're fighting is the air, you know? It's not like on the ground where if you were to do an about face, like in a car, for example, you're not exactly going to keep rolling in that direction because the wheels are still in the forward gears to have you go forward. Sure, with momentum you'll slide and then you could just go back out that way. The aircraft is different. The aircraft, you're going to do like this. If you go this way and you do an about face, like the front of your aircraft's not going to be aiming this way, you're still going to be sliding in this direction, but then it'll take a while to bring you back this way. So that's why I kept going in one direction at like negative 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, I think at once it said airspeed, right? So that's the thing that I had to counter. I did it before pretty well. You saw that first time earlier that when I had to go pick up those guys that I went and did an about face and landed real nicely. That was good, but I think it was because I was counteracting the momentum with enough forward speed, and I was also using, besides the anti-torque pedals, I was also using the A and D keys to like angle myself correctly. So here I was messing up because one, I was coming in way too fast. Two, I wasn't really utilizing my anti-torque pedals. I mean, I was using X, I didn't really use C, but you know, you can use one of the two of them to help which way you want to turn. But then I was also aiming down and up with the W and S keys. It's something to practice, but it's understandable. At least I know where my fault was, and I can fix on that later on. Again, the Operation Flashpoint, Cold War Crisis, or ArmA Cold War Assault, did it much better. It was automatically done in it so long as you were aware and you were actually aiming your aircraft at the right direction. Of course, it was an old dated game, so it was an old dated simulator, so to say. This one, there's more to it than that. Because not only does the mouse let you aim this way and that way, it's also pointing, but you also have the A and D keys that'll also angle your aircraft this way and that way. And then there's the there's the S key that I use a lot when I need to slow down. Stuff like that. So then you start running into the problem where you're using your mouse and you're using the keyboard, and then both inputs are kind of throwing off the aircraft. I think that's where they messed up for this game. There's the mouse that you're using and the keyboard that you're using, and if you're using too many inputs, it's not really going to help the aircraft out. So I think that's why I'm fucking up a lot in this. I know there was something wrong, I just couldn't quite put my finger on it, and the blame is pretty much where there's two inputs going on. You have the mouse, which will aim your aircraft up and down and angle it left and right, but then you also have the keyboard that's doing the same thing. You know, and you're probably saying, you know, why don't you just use one over the other? Well, you really can't, because the mouse isn't going to have you aiming like left and up at the same time, because it's going to say, okay, we have an up movement, and you know, it's like your y-axis and your x-axis, and then over here you have your y and x-axis. You know, it's kind of screwing it up. That's why I'm telling you, like, if it was real life, it'd be a lot different in real life. You're not going to have the craziness happening in this game that you would in reality, you know? Because there have been times I've played simulators where I fucked up flying an aircraft, like an airplane, but then when I got over there to the airport and I flown, they were like, wow, you fly pretty well for your first time. I was like, oh, thanks. They're like, have you played simulators or video games before? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, that's probably it. I was like, no, actually, simulators are far different from this. This was amazing. This was exhilarating. This is the real thing, you know? They're like, really? I was like, yeah, it's like driving a car, you know, or a motorcycle, you know? It's there for you. It's legit. You're paying attention. And not only that, I got an instructor who wants me to learn how to fly, besides the fact that they're taking your money. And it's there. Me, should I make it past basic training? Should I make it past warrant officer candidate school and actually get to the flight training, and then I'll have the IPs, as they call them, actually train us? I would hope they are there to really want to train us and like, hey, I want you to be a pilot. You got to show me you want to be a pilot. You got to show me you're willing to study and pay attention and actually fly this correctly. That's what I want to do, you know?
be pretty routine, right?
Nothing's ever routine around here, man.
Go to 203.
See you in the sky.
Wait, why is it playing this mission again? Did I fuck up the last mission? I thought it said mission complete. Airbourne. Huh. You know what? That's fine. We'll play it again next time around and hopefully do better than what we did this time. At least you guys got a chance to see the way it is. It's whatever. It's fine. I don't mind playing it again. It'd be fun. It'll be fun. That's more flight hours, as they say. You know, being a pilot. Most of the time, pilots are always going for flight hours and stuff. It don't matter. To me, it's not about the hours. You know, to me, it's about the experience, the learning. You can always learn better the next time around. You know, it's like when you drive a car or a motorcycle. You get better every time. You don't consider yourself an expert or professional. That is something. That is a title given to you by somebody else who's in that type of expertise or career field or something like that. You know, you can't just say, "Oh, I've been driving for this many years. I'm a pro. I'm an expert." Next thing you know, you get in an accident. What's that going to say? What's that going to say about you being an expert, you know? Clearly you're not. The way I see it, it's just like you get better every time. Something new always happens when you're driving. Nothing's always the same. You always got to pay attention. It's the same thing here, except this is like, I don't know, a 10 to a 50, $40 million piece of equipment, depending on what chopper it is, of course. More or less, and it's you either having fun and experiencing something, or it's you in that career field because you're doing it for something else that you shouldn't really be doing it for, you know? You guys know those people, right? They're only at that job because for the money. They're chasing the money, you know? They're just chasing personal gains that are not really good, you know? Like, for example, let's just say it was you and you're a pilot and you know another pilot. Let's just use this as an example since we're talking about Airbourne. You're a pilot, you know another pilot. You're in it because you always wanted to fly. He or she is in it because they've always wanted to fly. You're in it because you see flying as something great. You know, like, oh, it's such an exhilarating rush. It's an experience, and I learn, you know, every time after that. I wouldn't mind maybe changing from flying the aircraft and flying now to something else, or if that opportunity doesn't come, it's fine by me. You know, you're still going to fly. You know? The other guy or girl is not in it for that. They're in it because, yeah, sure, they wanted to fly. They've always wanted to fly, but they let it slip or they tell you or something. You find out that they're in it because of the money. They're in it because the prestige. Like, oh, I'm a pilot. That's all it counts. You know, I'm getting the money for it, you know. I want to get another chopper to fly because that one gives me more money, gives me more prestige. People will look up to me. I like being that uppity kind of person, you know. Kind of unsavory intentions. You know what I'm saying? They're not in it for... They're in it for themselves. Like, you're in it for yourself, too, because you wanted to fly all your life. And you're in it for yourself because the experience and all that. But it's good intent. You're there to actually help the military you're for, right? You told them, hey, you make me a pilot, I'm going to give you a great pilot. You know, and they're like, hey, we've heard that line from a bunch of other people. And you're like, true, but check this out. I don't care what I fly. Because I know you guys are going to need me to fly whatever you need me to fly. But me personally, if my chopper don't come up, that's fine. I'll fly something else. Because you know what? I'm grateful for it. You guys are going to train me. I want to learn. That's what I want. You guys want a pilot. I'm going to give you a pilot that's going to stay in 20, 30 years or something. You know, I'm going to do the best I can. It's a learning experience. They're like, okay, that's different. This other guy or girl probably lied about that, and once you're there working with this person, you're starting to tell yourself, you know, I don't know if I want to work with this guy or girl. They're in it for the money. And sure, maybe they're a good pilot. Let's just say they're an outstanding pilot, but they're only in it for the money, so that you're always going to hear them complain. You're always going to hear them fighting for hours, you know, like, oh, I want to go out there and get as many hours. I need as many hours as possible. It's like, yeah, but you're starting to tell yourself you're only in it for the money. You're chasing the money. That's the only reason why you want the hours. Me, I want the hours because it's experience, you know? Who do you think other pilots or other people are going to want to work with. You or the other guy or girl. You know what I'm saying? It's something like that. You know, the experience you can gain in this is amazing. You know, that's the way I look at it. It's awesome, you know. Sure, I might suck at first. You know, as you've seen, I've dipped into the ground and the windshield fucked up. But hey, we got ourselves an automatic AC. Haha, yeah. Yeah, anyways, but yeah, you know, get better at it and fly, you know, and sure, the hours and all that, and fly again, I don't mind, it doesn't bother me. It's fun. It is most definitely fun. So, anyways, apparently we're going to have to do it again. Fine by me. Maybe I fucked up. I think maybe I clicked cancel. I don't know. Maybe I clicked continue. Wasn't paying attention. I was looking at something else. I dropped the ball on that. I'll go ahead and tell you guys I looked at something else. But hey, we get to fly again. Who knows what other wacky, crazy things are going to happen the next time we fly. So, there's that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You guys take care. You guys have actually, you know, I don't want to say actually. You guys have been great. Any viewers I get, you guys are great. I love that. I love getting viewers. Some point in the future, I'd like to have so many viewers and, you know, start commenting with each other like, oh, hey, totally, how's it going? Yeah, yeah, this, that. Oh, my God, I've been with you since here. And I'm like, oh, thanks, you know, and more videos coming here and there. It would be even awesome after that. Like, hey, you know, I hear you're a pilot now and this, that. I'm like, yeah, I just made it. You know, I'm flying and now I have some free time. I'm doing a little video here, just one video a day because, you know, I got to go study for this. I got to go study for that for the military. But here's the one free time I get. Just, I don't know, 15, 30 minutes video, maybe 1 hour at most. Because, you know, there's time management you're going to have to just deal with. And I'll probably have the time management thing. I'll have a timer that actually tells me, hey, get off the game. You got to go do something right now. Go socialize. Go study this and that. And I'm like, all right, cool. All right, guys, I got to go. Sorry about this. Something like that. But it'd be cool, you know? And I'm probably still going to not be great at the game, but I'll definitely be a great pilot, that's for sure, because that's what I'm trying to shoot for. So, anyways, you guys take care. Have yourselves a great day, all right?